If you've been grinding English for months but still feel stuck, it's not your brain, it's your system. Most people treat English like a random project: study today, skip tomorrow, binge one week, ghost it the next. And then they're shocked when fluency feels like a glitchy download stuck at 12%. The truth is simple. Languages grow on daily exposure, not rare effort. Imagine brushing your teeth only twice a week. Your smile would be wrecked, right? English works the same way. You need tiny, regular contact to keep it fresh, sharp, and flowing. You don't need 6 hours of hardcore study. You just need a smart, repeatable routine that fits your actual life: school, work, Netflix, everything. Once English becomes something you use daily instead of something you study sometimes, the whole game flips. In this video, we're building that daily English routine brick by brick: listening, speaking, reading, thinking, writing, tracking your progress, and turning English into a lifestyle instead of a chore. No magic, no divine blessing, no talent, just science-backed habits, consistency, and micro steps that stack into massive fluency. Lock in, stay consistent, and let's build the routine that finally upgrades your English for real. Why you need a daily English routine. Yo, real talk. Getting fluent in English isn't magic, destiny, or some cosmic blessing. It's straight up daily reps, just like building muscle or learning coding. You can't expect fluency to appear out of thin air if you're only touching the language once in a blue moon. A daily routine literally rewires your brain. Every sentence you hear, every word you speak, every paragraph you read becomes a new connection inside your neural network. Over time, those small connections turn into insane fluency and confidence. The grind might feel slow at first, but 1 month of consistency greater than 1 year of random studying. Another thing you gotta get is that routine kills overthinking. When you know exactly what to do every day: 20 minutes reading, 10 minutes speaking, 5 minutes writing, boom, the stress disappears. There's no "where do I start" drama. You just run the blueprint. And the moment English becomes part of your everyday vibe instead of a forced study session, your improvement speed goes wild. It becomes muscle memory, not memorization. And yeah, consistency beats intensity every single day. People try to cram 3-hour sessions once a week and end up quitting because it's exhausting and boring. Meanwhile, the quiet assassin who spends 30 minutes daily ends up speaking smoothly, thinking in English, and not freezing when talking to strangers. A routine is your cheat code. It keeps you growing even when you don't feel motivated, because discipline greater than mood. That's why we start with building the habit first. Master the routine, and the language follows automatically. Build micro habits, not monster tasks. Alright, here's where most people mess up. They try to copy toppers or YouTubers and suddenly load their day with massive unrealistic routines. 2 hours of grammar, 1 hour of reading, 30 minutes speaking. Bruh, by day 3 your brain is fried, your motivation is gone, and Netflix wins. The sustainable way is micro habits, tiny actions that feel so light you can't make excuses to skip them. 5 minutes reading, 10 minutes speaking to yourself, 1 small paragraph writing. These tiny moves compound faster than you think. Micro habits are psychologically gangster. Your brain loves small wins. Every time you finish a tiny task, you get a dopamine kick. That hit tells your brain, yo, we're good at this, and suddenly your identity shifts. You stop seeing English as an enemy or exam subject and start seeing yourself as a person who uses the language daily. Once that identity shift happens, leveling up becomes automatic. Even on your laziest days, your routine still gets done because it's lightweight, no pressure, no bailout. And here's the crazy part: small actions produce big outcomes. 10 days of 5-minute reading still equals 50 minutes of reading. A month gives you 150 minutes. Add daily listening and writing, and the hours multiply like crazy. This is how real-world fluency is built, not by thinking, planning, or wishing, but doing tiny reps every damn day. Micro habits are like the seeds that later turn into full-blown fluency forests. Stick with them, and your English skills take off without you burning out. Morning brain warm-up. Morning vibes matter more than people think. Your brain is low-key in its prime right after you wake up, no stress, no distractions, just pure processing power. That's why your daily English routine should kick off early, even if it's just for a few minutes. A quick read, a short conversation with yourself in the mirror, or watching one short English video instantly switches your brain into English mode. It's like flipping a language activation switch before the day throws chaos at you. This warm-up doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need textbooks, notebooks, or a study table. You can literally read one news article while brushing your teeth, listen to a podcast while making breakfast, or scroll an English blog instead of doomscrolling reels. These micro touchpoints trick your brain into thinking, cool, English is part of my normal life, not some punishment you force yourself to do. Once your brain gets that message, it starts absorbing without resistance. The best part? Morning English sets the tone for the rest of your day. When you start your morning with learning, your confidence just hits different. You speak better, understand faster, and your brain stays warmed up for conversations, classes, and content you consume later. Think of it like stretching before the sprint. You get flexible, sharp, and ready to go. One small morning move can make your whole day more fluent and more productive. Daily English input. Listen and read. If you want your English to glow up fast, you gotta flood your brain with good input. Listening and reading are like downloading data into your mental hard drive. The more you consume, the more vocabulary, sentence structures, accents, and expressions you automatically copy. It's the same way kids learn their first language, zero grammar books, just pure exposure. You're doing the grown-up version of that, but consciously. Listening is the secret sauce. Podcasts, movie scenes, TED Talks, YouTube explainers, whatever matches your vibe works. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain is still catching patterns. You start recognizing sounds, stresses, and pronunciation without thinking. If you shadow, repeat after the speaker, your speaking confidence multiplies like crazy. And yeah, no shame in rewinding a piece 5 times. Real learners don't worry about feeling dumb, they chase clarity. Reading hits different. Books level up your vocabulary and sentence flow, while articles and blogs make you understand everyday modern English. Reading teaches you how ideas are structured, intros, hooks, twists, transitions, all subconsciously. Over time, you stop translating in your head. Your brain starts reading in pure English mode. Make input part of your lifestyle. 10 to 20 minutes listening plus a short read a day, and boom, you're cooking fluency on autopilot. Daily output. Speak before you're ready. Here's the real turning point. Consuming English is dope, but output is where the magic hits different. You gotta open your mouth and speak, even if your grammar stumbles, vocabulary disappears, or your sentences sound like a toddler learning ABCs. Fluency doesn't appear first and speaking later. It's the other way around. You speak badly first, you get better by doing it, and eventually you become smooth without thinking. Waiting to feel ready is the biggest trap. The easiest way to start? Talk to yourself. Seriously, it's not weird, it's the smartest hack. Describe what you're doing, explain your plans out loud, or narrate your thoughts like a YouTuber vlogging their day. No one's judging, and your brain builds confidence fast because there's zero pressure. If you want to level it up, record your voice for 1 minute daily. You'll cringe at the start, everyone does, but in a few weeks, you'll notice fewer pauses, stronger flow, and clearer pronunciation. That's growth in real time, and if you have access to people, classmates, friends, online strangers, initiate English convos shamelessly. You don't need big topics. Talk about food, weather, movies, goals, whatever. Speaking daily breaks your fear, builds fluency, and wires your mind to think in English automatically. Just like going to the gym, you don't wait for muscles before lifting weights. You lift weights to get muscles. Speak early, speak often, speak imperfectly, progress follows. Thinking in English. The real cheat code. This is the part nobody tells you, but it literally changes everything. When you stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English, your fluency jumps instantly. Translation slows you down like a laggy Wi-Fi connection. You form a thought in your native language, convert it, and then speak. That's 3 mental steps. Thinking in English is one clean step: thought, speech. Boom. Smooth, quick, natural. You don't magically wake up and start thinking in English though. You train your brain slowly by switching your inner voice. Instead of saying, Pani pina hai, say, I need a glass of water. Instead of, phone kadar raka, go, where did I keep my phone? At first, it'll feel forced or broken, but after a few weeks, your brain starts generating English thoughts automatically. That's when people look at you like, bro, when did you get so fluent? And you're just smiling quietly like, daily grind, man. And here's the peak level trick. Think in English about small everyday stuff. Don't jump directly into philosophy or politics. Start with basic thoughts. What you're eating, what you're planning, how your mood is, what tasks you gotta finish. Then slowly move to deeper stuff. Your goals, emotions, dreams, studies, even imaginary conversations. Your brain loves repetition. The more you feed it English thoughts, the faster English becomes your default operating system instead of a language you force yourself to use. Build a pocket vocabulary system. Here's the truth. Learning random 100 new words in a day is useless flex energy. You'll forget 90 of them by morning. The real power move is learning just a few useful words daily, but repeating them enough times that they tattoo themselves on your brain. You want vocabulary that sticks, not evaporates. That's why a tiny, repeatable system beats any big list. Keep one pocket notebook or notes app just for English words you actually encounter, from a podcast, reel, book, class, or convo. Don't copy dictionary-style meanings like a school kid. Instead, write a short sentence in your own style using that word. Example: resilient. I'm resilient when life throws nonsense at me. That sentence hooks the meaning to your life, and your brain keeps it longer because it feels personal. Reviewing is the real W. Words don't enter long-term memory unless you meet them again and again. So every night or every weekend, flip through that tiny list and say the words out loud. Use them in 1 or 2 spoken sentences the next day. Boom, they become part of your natural language instead of random trivia. 5 words a day equals 150 a month equals 1,800 a year. Imagine how fluent future you becomes if present you just sticks to this. Writing daily to lock the language in. Writing is the unsung hero of fluency, bro. Speaking builds confidence, listening sharpens ears, reading feeds vocabulary, but writing is where everything sticks together. When you write even a small paragraph daily, you're forcing your brain to organize thoughts in English, not just absorb random info. That means grammar, structure, and vocabulary line up in your head like puzzle pieces clicking into place. You don't need essays or academic vibes to win. Keep it simple and real. Journal your day, write about a movie you watched, explain a problem you're solving, or capture your morning thoughts. 1 paragraph is enough to keep your brain active. Bonus hack: write like you're texting a friend, not like you're preparing for an exam. Casual English is way easier to internalize, and once you master it, formal English becomes 10 times simpler. And the best part? Writing shows you your blind spots. When you can't express a thought clearly, you notice where your vocabulary is weak. When a sentence sounds awkward, you naturally tweak the structure. Over time, you start catching your own mistakes without effort, because your brain gets used to seeing English flow logically. Daily writing isn't homework, it's brain training. Once you embrace it, you start leveling up on autopilot. Track progress like a scientist. Yo, facts only. If you don't measure, you guess. And when you guess, you underestimate yourself, lose motivation, and think you're not improving, even when you actually are. Tracking turns your English journey into a science experiment. When you see your own progress on paper, the motivation becomes self-fueling instead of relying on hype. Start with tiny tracking habits, nothing intense. Note what you did every day: 10 minutes listening, 1 paragraph writing, 5 new words learned, 2 minutes speaking aloud. Seeing that streak build is addicting. If you miss one day, fine, jump back in the next. The goal is consistency, not perfection. And yo, record your voice weekly or monthly. This is the fluency mirror. When you listen back later, you'll hear the upgrade: fewer pauses, cleaner pronunciation, more natural flow. Same goes for old journal entries. Reading something you wrote a month back will blow your mind because you'll spot how much clearer and sharper your sentences have become. Progress is slow day to day but massive month to month. Tracking helps you see it instead of just hoping it's there. Turn English into your lifestyle. Here's the final boss move: stop treating English like a subject you study, and start treating it like a vibe you live in. Fluency becomes effortless when English blends into your everyday actions. Watch movies without subtitles, switch your phone language, text friends in English, follow creators who speak English, think and daydream in English. When the language becomes background noise in your life, your brain adapts automatically. No pressure, no forcing. You're not just learning rules, you're building identity. You're stepping into the version of yourself who uses English casually and confidently. That's way more powerful than memorizing grammar or mugging vocabulary. Every time you choose an English podcast over random reels or pick an English explanation instead of a translated one, you're literally telling your brain, "This is who I am now." And the brain listens when you repeat that daily. And here's the crazy finish: fluency isn't a finish line. There's no moment where a bell rings and someone says, "Congrats, you're done." It's a continuous upgrade. Just like fitness, art, or coding, the more you engage, the sharper you get. Some days will feel dull, some electric, but every drop of effort compounds. You're playing the long game, one steady day at a time, and future you will be unstoppable because you chose routine over excuses. Keep stacking those days, and English stops being a task. It becomes your default mode.